Hey everyone, it's Jenna Melanson from Canadian Beats Media. I'm here with Kaitlin and Alex from the Ottawa-based folk group Moonfruits. They will actually be playing at Ottawa's Ice Dragon Boat Festival on February 11th, so check it out if you're in the area. Welcome, guys.
Hi,
Hello, thanks for
Jenna.
having us.
It's my pleasure. So, the first 5 questions are around your music and the upcoming festival. So care to give a brief introduction to Moonfruits?
Sure, we are a harmonies and meaning first band, I would say. Kate and I form the core of the group, so there's a lot of harmonies and singing and that kind of
Mhm.
thing. But we are accompanied by sort of a roving cast of musicians, and for this particular performance, we're going to have double bass and violin with us. So we're going to be a quartet.
Awesome. Tell us a bit about your recent release.
Mm. Last October, we released an album called Salt. It is, I would say, it's our most like orchestral work to date. The recording itself has strings and brass, harp, and a bunch of interesting instruments like singing saw and chord organ, as well as double bass and drums and guitar and banjo and lots of harmonies. So it's a pretty rich sounding record. The music for it we wrote over a really long period of time too.
Mm-hmm.
So it took us a very long time to make it, but it feels like a coming of age in a way. It's a record that talks a lot about transformation on a personal
Mhm.
and on a political level, hopes that we have for how we might better build community in the future in a way that is really, vital and flourishing, but also that addresses some of the systemic injustice that we see in our communities now.
What can people expect from your live performances?
Ooh, good question. I think we've been told that people kind of get this little time out of time transportive experience. And I think that's something we endeavor to do to kind of
Mm-hmm.
create a bit of a dreamscape.
Mhm.
And that is just as true with Salt as it was with Saint Paw.
Mm-hmm.
I think you probably don't want to bring like your mosh pit energy, but you definitely are invited to bring sort of wherever you're at, all your feelings. There'll be some moments for dancing, there'll be some moments for slow dancing, there'll be some moments for daydreaming,
For singing all
for
together.
singing all together as a
Yeah.
Yeah,
group. We love sing-alongs and group harmonies, so it's a pretty feel good, uplifting time.
sounds fun. What other band or artist are you looking forward to checking out during the festival, or have you checked out already?
Oh,
Well,
it's quite a long
uh,
list, but we're particularly chuffed. But I
no,
think
no, go
we're
for
on the
it.
same page. No, go for it.
Well, the artist that we're sharing the bill with,
Yeah.
their new album, Community Garden, sounds really cool, and we don't know, like
Oh,
we.
I think I know. I don't know the name of Craig's new album, but we're definitely excited about seeing him. I
Oh,
think
oh, I'm sorry.
we got switched up. Yeah,
Ben
you're thinking of
Drowned.
Ben Drellen,
Yeah, yeah,
who is also great.
yeah. Yes.
But
Sorry.
really excited to share the stage with Craig. It
Mhm.
has never happened before in this way. We definitely got to hear his music up close and personal at the end of last year at a house concert that we
Okay.
both played a couple songs at, and I'm just always taken with like his deft ability to bring the audience in to
Mhm.
this really warm and engaging space, like in a very casual manner.
Hmm.
And it's a real skill. And
Yeah.
I'm excited to be there for that part of the show. I'm excited to hear his stories. He's a great storyteller. And he's like a beloved artist in this community. So I'm
Mhm.
sure it's going to be a grand time.
The last one in this part is, do you have any other upcoming shows or festivals that you can tell us about?
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I got my wires crossed because we're also going to be playing the Ottawa Grassroots Festival
Okay.
on
On
the
April 20th.
April 20th, Thursday, April 20th.
Okay.
And we'll be sharing the stage with this artist, Ben Drowland, who Roland, who's put out this album called Community Garden, and we're
Okay.
starting a community garden in our community, and so it felt very apropos. But that's the next one in town that we have that people can check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're getting into the just for fun. So, what was the first festival you ever attended?
Ooh, attended. Maybe Oshega in Montreal.
Okay.
It's very loud and very sweaty, and
Yeah.
you had to be like 25 feet from whatever artist's stage that you wanted to actually hear, because otherwise it was all just like competing bass drum sounds at the same time. Like,
I mean, the first festival I would have attended would have been a choral festival. I grew up singing in choir. So I don't know,
500,
Festival 500 in Newfoundland, if that means anything to anyone. But there
It
were
probably
some
means
for
something to someone.
Yeah, there you go. So for all you choir folks out there and choral nerds, yeah, lots of choral festivals, children's choir festivals in particular. Musica Mundi in Italy. Yeah, I did a lot of those. And I don't think I attended many music festivals before that. So that's probably the beginning. It's a different vibe, a choral festival, but also a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's nice. Okay, if you wrote a book based on Moonfruits, what would you title it?
Oh,
Oh, crumbs. Okay, let's see.
We're almost there. So it just seems like,
I feel like now it would be like what you do between 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. That's when we work. That's when our son is asleep. So
Okay.
or during this interview, for example. Yeah.
Okay. What band or artist was the first to catch your attention growing up?
I was a huge Radiohead fan. My brothers were like steering my musical tastes to a large degree, and there was a lot of grunge, but in that there was also Radiohead, and I've since become a much bigger, say, Radiohead fan than Pearl Jam fan or something like that. Even though I dust off those records from time to time, I'm definitely they're definitely the band that I've seen the most as well.
I definitely listened to a lot of top 40 pop when I was growing up. I was gifted a lot of compilation CDs, women in song, and so I would have listened to like Jewel and Christina Aguilera on those. But I think the first singer who really caught my ear was Roberta Flack. My mom had some Carole King and some Roberta Flack records that I really liked to dig into kind of in the middle of high school. And that was the first time I like put a record on and then lay it on the floor of the living room, just like listening to it. And it was pretty transformational. Yeah.
Okay, this one's a bit tough. If you could create a festival lineup, which other 4 Canadian bands would you choose to play with you?
Ooh, oh my gosh.
I mean, I think Tragedy Ann would be at the top of the list. They're like very, very good friends of ours, and happened to also have sung and played all over our last record, and we're going to be touring with them in the fall.
Canadian band.
I mean,
there's so many.
Like, I'd probably put Amy Sumi on the bill.
Yeah, I think a festival of friends. We would probably pick to play with a bunch of friends for the sheer joy of putting music together. So it'd be like the Lifers, Samson Road, Annie Sumi, Tragedy Ann,
Tannis Slimmin. Yeah, Annie Sumi.
I think we're saying a lot of the same things, but I mean, then the list would just get really long because then there'd be all the bands that like long admired and want to play with. I would love to see Rose Cousins in concert. That would be, and Joel Plaskett. Those are on my bucket list for sure. I love Kaya Cater's music a lot. I would love to play at a festival with her.
The Bar Brothers would.
The Bar Brothers would be freaking out. I mean, yeah, I think we get us going. We would like make 8 festival lists.
Yeah, I think so. Okay. Beaver Tails is a sponsor for the Ottawa Ice Dragon Boat Festival. So what's your go-to beaver tail?
The classic. Absolutely. Hands down. All the others are just nonsense.
Oh, I like the Killaloe Sunrise or whatever. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's the top one from all these that I've done. The Sunrise one. Yeah. Top.
And lemon juice.
Lemon juice helps to cut the sweet richness. Yeah. So yeah, okay, I accept.
But the garlic and cheese one is also quite tasty and not.
So I think maybe what needs to color my answer here, although these are supposed to be snappy rounds, is I once did a garbage audit of Ottawa after Winterlude. So I got to see the remnants of a lot of beaver tails. We'll just leave it at that.
Garbage for
which
what?
definitely colored my experience of beaver tails. So yeah, that's why I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, so now you have a chance to promote yourself, your upcoming music or releases, and you don't have to go quick. Take your time. Go for it.
Oh, well, we've got a bunch of music videos that we're gonna put out based on this album Salt. And I also hear that our sweet dear Ben, are you okay to grab? Is just waking up from his nap. So promotion, when I hear Ben though, sometimes my brain just completely turns to mush. Promotion is one of the hardest things to do about yourself. But definitely, I would encourage folks interested in our music to check out our upcoming music videos and stay tuned for tour dates, because after a long period of quiet, we're going to be hitting the road this year, and we're very excited about that. So we've had the chance before to tour in different parts of Canada and the United States and Europe, and we're going to try and go back to some of those places this year. Very excited about that. Excited about presenting Salt live. Excited about playing as a larger band whenever we can be. So yeah, music videos and tour dates. Those are the main things. And if you want to stay in touch with us, head to moonfruits.ca and you can sign up for our newsletter. That's where we kind of put out a monthly missive. I often write a little note for myself, like a little letter, and then we share some info about what's going on with us. So that's what I would say there. And we just would love to see you on the 11th. If you're around and in the Ottawa Gatineau area, we would love to play for you.
Okay, thank you for joining me for Ice Dragon Boat Festival edition of Zoomies.
Thank you, Jenna.
You're welcome.